Hey, welcome to Film Fanatics. My name is Dan.
My name is Justin.
And I'm Joe.
This week we've got three big release movies for Christmas time. Passengers, starring Jennifer Lawrence and Chris Pratt, the animated comedy Sing, and the R-rated comedy Why Him. Justin's going to start us off with Passengers.
So, fair warning here, listeners. This is a movie that's incredibly hard to do a synopsis for without giving spoilers, but I'm going to do my best.
Well, the trailer gave us enough.
Yeah.
Give you enough to reveal one thing that could be spoiler-ish.
Or two.
Or two, yes.
Two cameos. One not even a cameo.
One that is definitely not a cameo, but as we've just discussed off air. But en route to a new colony, an asteroid sets in motion events that ultimately cause two of said passengers, a term you will hear non-stop throughout the course of the movie, Jim, a mechanic played by Chris Pratt, and Aurora, in easily one of the most pretentious metaphors of the year, played by Jennifer Lawrence, ahead of schedule. Frustrated and perplexed at their dilemma, the two will ultimately have to work together to keep the ship safe and on course. Michael Sheen and Lawrence Fishburne have supporting roles.
What about Andy Garcia?
And Andy Garcia exists. That's about the bulk of it. Joe, you would agree, yeah?
You saw the role in the trailer.
You basically did.
It's like Collateral Beauty except for a cameo. It's a lie. It's a blatant lie.
Well, this is another case of the trailer kind of sort of lies. Not just in Andy Garcia, but also in case of how things actually play out. To go too terribly far with that is spoiler territory, but
definitely.
I feel like this is an idea that really could have been something promising and just falls apart. Fortunately, Chris Pratt and Jennifer Lawrence have chemistry, though I feel like Chris Pratt is so used to playing Star-Lord Pratt that when he has to actually put forth some dramatic heft, he's not exactly up to the task like Jennifer Lawrence is. So some of the more dramatic scenes, I'll be honest, he kind of overkills it a little bit. Oh my gosh, this? And if this was a stage play, that might work, but as a sci-fi epic, I'm not so sure. And it's really kind of a pity because this was directed by Morton Tyldum, who did Imitation Game, which I think was a really nice blend of great drama and a surprising amount of wit. And I was thinking, okay, this might actually work in the way of sci-fi. I'll give it the fact that it's well-paced, and the storyline is engaging, if not very, 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 very safe. And alongside that, not everything kind of makes sense, with more than a handful of plot holes in a couple spots. But it's a fun ride. I can honestly say I wasn't bored, and there are some actually good visuals, even though sometimes the consistency of which is about 50-50. Some are great, some look like they were in a bad video game. Not nearly as bad as I think everyone made it out to be.
Yeah, I don't know. I think I may have even liked it a little more than you. I think Lawrence and Pratt get on great together. I agree Pratt, isn't quite the actor that she is. But, as I mentioned in the Magnificent Seven review, I don't think he's doing his Chris Pratt bit here. The whole Star-Lord, and he was in
Jurassic World.
Jurassic World, yes. So, I do think he stepped up his game a little bit for this. But, a pro actor like Jennifer Lawrence, he is not. But, they're very charismatic on screen. Michael Sheen, possibly the glue that holds the entire film together.
I was about to say.
He's always great. The set design, I thought was fantastic. I think they made a lot of good use out of a fairly minimal set production. I was invested in the story and the characters, and I liked the film's depiction of the future. Now, for the negatives, I do wish we learned more about the background of these two characters. She does ask him, even in the trailer, she asks him, hey, what made you want to leave your life on Earth? They never really get to the meat of those questions in the film, and I would have liked to see that. And then there is the Aurora bit, which...
Oh, do continue.
I mean...
You get it?
You know how much I hate unobtainium from Avatar.
And Latinum.
What do they mean?
Latinum from Star Trek, yeah. I mean, that's... Latinum's not really like a gag in that regard. It's just lazy writing. But, this and unobtainium are just very, hit you over the head with the metaphor. Oh, really? She's a sleeping beauty.
Yes. Unless we forget the ship looks like a wheel.
Spin the golden thread.
I didn't get that one. Wasn't that Rumpelstiltskin where they had the spinning? Oh, no, but they do. You're right.
Break this finger.
I remember that from Maleficent. Yeah. I didn't think of that one, but I actually thought the wheel part was more akin to Elysium, the way that was set. But anyway, so I don't know. I agree. It's not nearly as bad as the critics are having you believe.
I mean, it's got problems.
It's got problems. It's not nearly as good as I'd hoped for. I was really, really quite excited about this. But yeah, I thought it was all right. Joe?
Yeah, I mean, I pretty much agree with you guys. I think that this one definitely was trying to be great, fell short quite a bit. I think that the thing I really liked about it, though, was in terms of, like, trying to do some, like, really basic, minimalist sci-fi, I think for the first, like, third or so, it's actually pretty engaging with how little there is. Like, I think Pratt manages to carry on a different character than he usually proceeds pretty well, actually, and I thought it was engaging partially just because of his performance, but also because of the awesome set design and the visuals. Like, the ship is awesome. It's very unique design. Yeah. It's cool. I actually thought it was pretty impressive, and there are some other good visuals throughout it as well.
The technology is cool.
Technology is good overall. I think that they have some chemistry with him and Lawrence. I don't know if they're quite up to their A game, either of them, but I think they're both fine. And I think that the romance between them is also a pretty good, solid second act of the movie. The first 2/3 of it I thought were fine, engaging, fun, but then it gets
to like
first
20 minutes, but
well,
wow.
Well, I thought it was pretty good up until that point. I think once she gets introduced, it actually starts having more problems. But the issue is they kind of build up to a twist when there really isn't a twist. That's kind of something the trailers lie about. It's
yep.
Like, and there is some interesting ideas about satire there that are presented. Nothing we really haven't seen before, but it's trying to be smart. And then by the third of the movie, once a certain other character gets introduced, it just dumbs everything down and becomes the most basic story you can possibly imagine. But, you know, with the performances and the visuals aside, it's decent. It's a decent little sci-fi story, but it's not as epic or as smart as I think it's going to be. And the ending or non-ending
it's an ending. It's just
a pretty lazy,
particularly satisfying ending.
It's a very weak ending with a very weak, barely a cameo, which the audacity to put him as a cast member is ridiculous. But you know, anyway,
he's fifth build.
Yeah, the movie with only 5 people. I mean,
yeah.
but in literally like a 3-second scene with no lines.
I agree.
Anyway, it basically was nowhere near as good as it could have been. But it wasn't really that bad either, I guess. So I'm kind of with you guys, I guess.
C-3PO, co-star of Rogue One.
But he at least had a line.
He did. Hey, he had a line. Yeah, that was an unfortunate part because we always like to see Garcia.
We do. Beard or no beard, though. Got to take it off.
True. But it begs the question, was the studio hoping to get a franchise out of this, and Passengers 2 stars Garcia? Possible. You know how studios work. Because really, they could have put anybody in that role, but they put a famous person in there, which makes me think. Yeah.
I mean, Sony is desperate for another franchise, so.
True.
Not this one.
No, this probably
I'd say probably not.
To be honest, although I don't. If it does well overseas, you do never know.
That's true.
You know, we've seen stranger sequels.
Yeah, I mean, they're toying with the idea of Warcraft 2 as a China exclusive.
Well, that's where it should stay. To be honest. All right, well, Justin, what's your grade for Passengers?
Passengers gets a C.
Joe?
B-.
That's a B for me. So up next is Sing. And in this film, it's animated, of course. Unlike The Secret Life of Pets from the same studio, this world is all animals. And in this movie, a koala named Buster Moon, voiced by Matthew McConaughey, runs a music theater that previously belonged to his father. Profits are non-existent, and the shows he puts on are all flops. His one last-ditch effort before the bank seizes the property is to hold a singing competition, though a printing snafu makes the prize money $100,000 instead of just the $1,000 that he has, which means pretty much every animal in town shows up. The ones that make it through include a domestic pig, voiced by Reese Witherspoon, a punk rock porcupine, Scarlett Johansson, an arrogant crooning mouse, Seth MacFarlane, and others. Taron Egerton, John C. Reilly, Nick Kroll, and Tori Kelly also have roles. British comedian Garth Jennings, who wrote and directed the film, also voices the scene-stealing iguana receptionist. I was not much of a fan of Secret Life of Pets. You guys both know that. And the Minions franchise is growing impossibly thin for me. But I really liked this movie. The promotional material for the film boasts the over 85 songs included, and though many of the songs are fun and welcome, it's actually a little bit of overkill.
Yeah.
I think it moves so fast between the songs sometimes. The movie really is actually at its best when it reins in the theatrics and focuses on the characters, who, most of which, though kind of basic, are pretty good. Everybody has an obstacle to overcome, and the mild lessons imparted to the kids watching go down easy. I honestly think it's the best and most intelligent movie Illumination has come up with since the original Despicable Me. I rather enjoyed it. Joe?
Hey, man, I pretty much agree with you. I kind of like the whole, sort of a satire on the whole American Idol, America's Got Talent sort of thing. And with animals, of course, you got some fun gags, some fun visuals, but, some smart stuff there, too, for sure. And I think that there's a lot of good voice work. I think the animation was pretty fluid. I really like that. I think it's some of the best stuff there, for sure, from that component. But I do really... I agree. I'm really glad you pointed it out. I know they're trying to get in so many songs from different genres, which is really cool.
Yeah.
But it's nonstop.
Yeah.
In terms of musical,
especially the first maybe 20 minutes, because you've got the intro to all the characters
and
they're singing
everywhere,
and then the auditions is 10 minutes straight of just song.
You almost get whiplash, and I guess kids won't get bored of it, but it's almost hard to keep track of everything at first. So you kind of got it
just a wee bit.
So it's fun. But I kind of wish it was a little more focused, and if it breathed a little bit more, I think it could have been better to examine some of those ideas you're talking about. But overall, I thought it was pretty enjoyable. I mean, it's better than Passengers.
I admit it was better than Passengers.
So I thought it was pretty
better
good.
Than the Pets, though. Because you guys like that more than I did.
I like Pets, but I think I might have liked it a little bit too much in retrospect. I think this one was definitely a slightly more engaging film for me.
Okay,
slightly.
Justin, better than Pets?
You can't pet them.
I'm not sure if I can stand in that camp.
Okay.
But I kind of had mixed feelings going in. I really like the general concept of this movie. All these different songs, all these different artists, and then the trailer comes and it's okay. We're going to do essentially animal covers.
Yeah, I thought it looked real dumb from the trailer.
And
yes,
I agree.
Don't let the trailers fool you. This is not. Now that's what I call cute humor. Don't get me wrong, that scene is incredibly nauseating, but that is not the entirety of the movie. What it is actually an ensemble film that's surprisingly consistent for an ensemble film. There's usually when you get an ensemble film, there's a couple characters that kind of get benched by the end of the movie. Mm-hmm. Everyone pretty much gets an even amount of time devoted to their initial arc.
That's true.
And I really did appreciate that. I think it's basic, it's simple, but it works. Mm-hmm. And I mean the actors really do put on solid covers. It's definitely not Animal Noise's version of pop songs, which would have been horrible if it were. I do have to say the animation does get more chaotic than I think it needs to at times. Yes, okay, there's a crime story segment for one of them. Crazy swooping shot to introduce every single character is sort of
very
overkill.
Frantic.
Dizzy,
yeah,
for sure.
Would hate to see this movie in IMAX, but
3D.
I didn't see it in 3D.
I saw it in 3D.
Oh my, was it worth it?
Yet another blah. I saw Passengers in 3D too, both of them.
Not Keepers.
No, I haven't seen a good 3D in a while.
I probably have to say the last good one I saw was Moana in that camp, but
300 Rise of an Empire for me.
I was like
I just remember liking that one a lot, but yeah, Star Wars wasn't that good in 3D.
No,
damn.
I will say Rogue One was better in 3D than Force Awakens was, but
okay. I didn't see Strange in 3D though, and I heard that was pretty cool.
I thought it was pretty good
3D. Yeah. All right, sorry, getting a bit off topic.
More than a little off topic,
anyway.
But I think the actors do a good job in their roles. I think sometimes it plays it up. There's apparent cute humor. There's one running gag that I would say borders on culturally insensitive, but outside of that, enjoyable, albeit incredibly fluffy. But fluffy is not necessarily bad for holiday entertainment.
And literally fluffy in some ways.
Yeah, they are animal.
Yeah.
Japanese pop stars, is that the...
Yeah, pretty much.
I thought that's kind of funny.
That's true.
I enjoyed it.
Yeah, it was pretty good. I thought it was good. Yeah.
Yeah.
I'd say it was a good B
Okay. Justin, what about for you?
C+.
Okay, it's a B+ for me.
Oh, wow.
Okay.
One of the better animateds, I think,
Wow.
of the year.
All right.
All right, Joe, let's talk about why him.
Well, I want to ask that question. Why him? Why Cranston? Why?
Very
I
good
think
question. Do enlighten us, Joe.
I just feel like I guess he made his claim to fame. He's done Breaking Bad. He did Argo.
Yeah.
He's done some good movies, but now he's got some comedy chops. He can go back to that. Malcolm in the Middle. So here we have him, basically if you've seen the trailer for this movie, you basically know it. Bryan Cranston's daughter is going to marry James Franco, who is an obnoxious multi-millionaire. But you've got the whole classic. He wants to break up the marriage because he doesn't want to lose his daughter, and James Franco wants to really impress the dad. So you got two very converting opinions there, and a kind of a classic scenario that we've seen many times before. And does this offer anything new? No,
Not even remotely.
Not at all. Unfortunately, no. It's kind of one of those things where I think that, honestly, Cranston does a pretty good job with what little he's given, being a one-dimensional, shallow character.
Yeah.
And James Franco's doing what he typically does, playing a kooky guy who's also... I just don't like James Franco that much in general. And in these kind of roles, he just annoys me, but I guess he does that well. But when you've got two characters you don't like very much just trying to go at each other with some of those basic, jokes, it's really predictable and safe. I think the funniest part about it was Keegan-Michael Key. I think he gets he gets like the best gags.
Great.
Like I loved his stuff. Other than that, I think they were trying, but this is just the weakest thing, and it's just kind of unpleasant for me. I didn't think it was that funny. I don't know. What do you guys think?
I agree. It's actually not all that funny. I think there's a super quick turnaround for certain characters in the film.
Yeah.
And not just one or two. Almost everybody at one point has a really, quick epiphany moment out of nowhere. I think it's extremely formulaic. Franco is a bit flat. The kid from middle school is awful. He was good. Now, you guys didn't see middle school. We didn't do it on the show, but he was good in middle school. But here, I don't know if the director told him to, make these weird reactions. It just wasn't believable. Cranston gives it his all, but the material is not up to his standard.
It's really bad.
But what's interesting is, and I never thought I'd say this,
Okay.
Zoe Deutsch is actually pretty good in this movie.
Yeah, she was all right.
I don't like her at all. Vampire
Academy,
is the main... We've covered her in other things.
I was okay with her and Everybody Wants Some.
Yeah, she was okay in that.
I don't think she's that great.
I don't think she's that great. But I thought she was actually pretty good here. She's the most believable character, for one thing.
That's question.
And she's the most well-written character because she has actual dimensions to her.
She's well-written, but she's kind of underused throughout most of it.
She is partially. I can partially agree with that.
Yeah,
And I would say the same for Megan Mullally, who plays Cranston's wife. Mm-hmm. Love her typically, but not really used here either. So yeah, just kind of a less than middling affair for me.
I agree.
Yeah, Justin?
The biggest issue for me is I just don't get the target audience. I think the main people who would want to see this are probably going to be teenagers. It's incredibly R-rated, 80,000 F-bombs just because. And I think most adults are just not that interested. So already this movie's got a million problems straight out the gate. Alongside that, I agree Franco is completely flat. Deutsch is...
She's pretty good, Justin.
She's okay.
She's doing her Deutsch shtick.
I don't agree.
It's what it is.
I thought she's all right.
The storyline is...
basic.
Lifeless, to put it politely. The jokes are not even remotely that funny. The Keegan-Michael Key thing is entertaining. I'll give him points for
the attack stuff.
He beats so Franco. I can't really say I find it that too much
for keeping a consistent accent. I was cool with that. But the gags just aren't that funny. The setup is pretentious.
Pretentious.
I don't know if it's pretentious. It's predictable.
Obnoxious.
It is obnoxious.
Okay. Obnoxious and only continues to get more irritating. It's easily 20 minutes too long, if not even.
It is a bit long for a comedy. It's
like 2 hours.
2 hours.
Yeah.
It's like an hour and 51 or something. Yeah.
Every single scene runs on at least 2 minutes too long. And then it just sort of ends
with an awful cameo from one of my least favorite people.
Yeah.
2 really, but
Yeah, 2. Yeah.
Yeah. There's no justification for that. But really, the only thing that is keeping this from being a new entry into a certain territory is the fact that Cranston really does look like he's trying to have fun with
Cold
this.
comes the Cranston.
Cold really does come to Cranston
Every time.
In the freezing depths of mediocrity comes Cranston, who
Elevates it.
can't save it, but elevates it.
yeah, he can't save
He
it.
can't
It's
save
true.
a movie. He really can't save one.
Not this one.
No.
Not this one, but
No.
darned if he doesn't try.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Gives it a all.
Yeah, he did. And I mean, that's the main reason why I don't absolutely hate it.
You don't really like Franco at all, though. It's true.
No.
But I kind of do, and even in this, I didn't really think
But
he was all
how
that
can
good.
you forgive him for Spring Breakers? See?
Well,
No one can forgive him for
a
Spring
lot of the
Breakers.
projects he picks are very questionable. And if you want to talk about pretentious, you got Spring Breakers, you got Palo Alto. I mean, the list goes on and on
Yeah.
with that. This movie doesn't quite fall into those levels of those adjectives, but Franco's not that good in it.
Yeah.
He peppers every sentence, with an F-bomb, which I know that's in the script. But he doesn't even really play it convincingly.
No. Like he's just kind of there and you
Like,
know.
oh,
he's
yes,
playing
I'm a
with
free
stuff.
spirit.
Yeah.
You can be a free spirit and not end every single phrase or punchline with an F-bomb.
Yeah, that's true. That's
It loses its shock value. It lost its shock value like 30 seconds into the movie.
It's true. Kind of overdo it a lot.
Yeah.
Yeah.
All right, well, Justin, what is your grade for Why Him?
D-.
Ooh. Just skating by there from Cranston.
Yeah, that's it.
Pretty much, yeah.
Joe?
Not quite that harsh. It's C- for me.
Yeah, C- for me as well. All right, well, that will do it. Pretty quick show this week. Not
Not
too much.
to talk.
Not too much dissension in the ranks with these movies.
No.
Slightly different grade variations, but on the same page, I think, for most of them. So that will do it. Last full show, really, of 2016. So we'll have our top 30 show coming up in a mini-sode, and also take care of some Oscar hopefuls like Fences and La La Land coming up. And you can check us out on Facebook, Film Fanatics with an exclamation point, and the Twitter feed at Film Fanatics Pod. And of course, Joe's Merlin channel has a ton of year-end stuff and a lot more frequent videos too.
You're trying to
with the group.
Yeah, trying to
So-
get people in.
Yeah, so very cool there. And yeah, that'll do it. So we'll see you back here next time.